What a pretty red cape this girl is wearing. Where do you think she's going? Little Red Riding Hood.
Once upon a time, in a lovely little cottage in the woods, lived a small girl and her mother. The little girl's mother made her a beautiful red cape, complete with a hood. The little girl wore it so much that everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, the girl's mother told her that her grandmother was very sick.
Little Red Riding Hood, your grandmother has caught a terrible cold. I need you to take her this basket full of goodies to make her feel better.
Okay, Mommy. What's in the basket?
There are fresh blackberry jam and warm bread. There are also some cold chicken and a wheel of soft cheese.
Yum! May I please have some?
No, daughter, it's for your grandmother. Do not eat any of the food or your dear grandmother may not get better.
Okay.
And remember, stick to the path and don't talk to strangers.
I won't, Mommy.
And Little Red Riding Hood left to travel through the woods to see her grandmother.
Gee, it sure is dark in this forest. I hope I don't get lost. I wonder how much longer it will take to get to my grandmother's.
Meanwhile, a tricky wolf, who was up to no good at all, was stalking Little Red Riding Hood.
That little girl looks delectable, and her basket is full of tasty food. I think I'll eat her. I'll sneak up on her and talk to her. She'll be fooled by my sweet disposition.
And so the wolf slowly crept up behind Little Red Riding Hood, putting on his sweetest smile and kindest voice.
Why, hello, little girl. It's a lovely day for a promenade through the woods, isn't it?
Oh, hello. I'm sorry, but my mommy told me not to talk to strangers.
Oh, of course. Your mommy is quite right. Here, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Thomas Wolf. There, we're not strangers anymore. So, what's your name, my dear?
I'm called Little Red Riding Hood. On account of my Little Red Riding Hood, I'm very pleased to meet you.
Where are you going with that lovely basket of food?
I'm taking it to my dear old granny. She's very sick.
Why, that's terrible.
Then the greedy wolf had an idea. He would not only eat Little Red Riding Hood, but he'd also eat her poor sick grandmother.
You must hurry to see your grandmother. I've lived in these woods for many years. If you take this path, you'll get to your grandmother's in no time at all.
But my mother told me to stick to the path.
But wouldn't your mother want you to get to your grandmother's as quickly as you could? Or are you a lazy girl? Do you not want to help your poor, sickly grandmother?
Of course I want to help her. I'm a good little girl.
Then this is the path you want to take, my dear.
Really? Are you sure?
Of course I am. Trust me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wolf.
No problem, my dear. No problem at all.
The wolf was quite devious. He had sent Little Red Riding Hood on a sidetrack that would take her much longer to get to her grandmother's. The wolf quickly ran to the little cottage, reaching his destination long before Little Red Riding Hood.
Look, there's the old lady, ripe for the eating. I'll go inside and eat her up. Then, when Little Red Riding Hood gets here, I can have her for dessert. Oh, madam, your lovely granddaughter sent me here with a basket of delicious food for you. May I come in?
The wolf quickly entered the cottage and gobbled down the unsuspecting granny. Then He carefully put on the grandmother's bonnet and robe, sat in the grandmother's rocking chair, and waited for Little Red Riding Hood.
I don't think that was a shortcut at all. It took me a very long time to get here. Now Grandmother's bread isn't warm anymore. I hope she won't be too angry with me. Oh, look! There's Grandmother's cottage, and I can see her bonnet through the window. Grandmother! Grandmother, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. May I come in?
Yes, my dear. Come in, come in.
As quick as a wink, the wolf hopped into the grandmother's bed to hide his furry feet. But there were other, more predatory features he couldn't hide.
Hello, Grandmother! Oh my! What large eyes you have! Are you feeling very ill?
No. The bigger they are, the better I can see you, my dear.
Your ears are very large too, Grandmother. They're much bigger than I remember.
The bigger they are, the better I can hear you, my dear.
And your teeth, Granny, they are so large and pointy. And there are so many. They go all the way back.
The bigger they are, the better I can eat you, my dear.
Quickly, Little Red Riding Hood realized that this was not her beloved Granny. It was Thomas Wolf. He had tricked her. She was petrified.
Oh, no! Don't eat me! You mean old wolf!
Hold still. I hate it when my dinner doesn't agree with me.
While the wolf was trying to swallow poor Little Red Riding Hood, a woodcutter who had been working nearby heard all the commotion. Quickly, he ran into the grandmother's house to see if he could help.
What's going on in here?
Help! Please! The wolf ate my Granny, and now he wants to eat me!
And now I'm going to eat you.
The wolf soon gulped down Little Red Riding Hood.
Do you think you can handle someone your own size, Wolf?
Yes, I have very large teeth.
And I have a very large axe.
So the woodcutter and the wolf fought to see whose weapon was the sharpest. The woodcutter had always worked hard to keep his axe in the finest condition. The wolf, however, was too lazy to sharpen his teeth as often as he should. So the woodcutter won the battle. He quickly opened the wolf's stomach to free the grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood.
Here you go, madam.
Why, thank you, young man.
Grandmother!
Why, hello, Little Red Riding Hood. This wolf came right into my house and ate me up. Can you believe his manners, picking on a little old woman?
That's just terrible, madam.
Thank you again for saving us from the terrible wolf.
The grandmother was very happy that the woodcutter had saved her and her granddaughter. She invited him to share the food that Little Red Riding Hood's mother had packed for her. He was happy to oblige. He rarely had any company out in the forest. Little Red Riding Hood was very happy to be alive. She promised both her grandmother and the woodcutter that she would never again talk to strangers or take the routes they suggested, even after they introduced themselves.
What an adventure! It looks like Little Red Riding Hood learned an important lesson about following her mother's instructions. Remember, don't talk to strangers and obey your parents.